the computer so people can send that out. And then I'm going to make sure the stream is out there ready to go as well. Because there are some people who are actually, yes, out there in the internet who do watch it from Zoom, and that is fine. A lot of the teachers use the videos that I put up, sometimes either the stream video or wait, today's the 30th. And sometimes they use the videos here so that they can show what's going on. Like, for example, I saw the Tri-County 6th grade teacher. She sent the video for her kiddos to do the DNA. And then they sent me a picture of it working. It was really awesome. I saw a big old glob of DNA, booger snot stuff. So it looked really, really good. All right. I love this activity. It's a lot of fun. If your parents happen to be at home or at work today, or if somebody is at work today, this will be a lot of fun because then you can treat this as a gigantic game of hide and go seek. And that will be ridiculously hilarious. And we'll see how good their eyesight is. And I can tell you, if you do a really good job with this, it'll be really, really tough. It's so tough that I sometimes even can't find them always. I'll just give you the few rules that go along with it to make their lives easy or slightly difficult. So what we're going to talk about is one of my more favorite things to look at, which is adaptations of animals. Specifically, we're looking at camouflage. So we have talked about so far in 6th grade, we have talked about DNA, how DNA codes for all the characteristics of us. They give us what we see, how we appear, and that gets passed on from parent to offspring every generation. All right. So let's see, what did we do last time? Last week we were, can't remember last week. I'm drawing a blank. Everything's blurring together. I'm totally forgetting. Somebody will write it in and say, this is what we did. Duh. I'm so stuck on 5th grade with plants and its plantings. It's getting close to starting my garden and things. So I'm kind of in that brain set, not animal stuff right now. I'll get there eventually. But when we look at camouflage, some things that you think of might be camouflage are adaptations. Some of them are, some of them aren't. And remember, when we talk about things that are adaptations, something that allows you to better survive your environment compared to other things. For example, me, as pale and Northern European as I am, even though I've been out in the sun, I've got some sun. This is pretty good for me. I will only get to a nice golden, lightly brown, warm bread toast level. After that, I can't go any darker. I go straight over to red and sunburn. Okay, I don't have as much skin pigmentation. It's why my eyes are lighter colored. My hair actually does bleach out. And the weird thing that'll happen the more I'm out in the sun, what really happens that's weird are my eyebrows bleach out a lot, and it's not anything I'm doing, it's just the sun. It's the weirdest thing. My eyebrows get really blonde. And I'm sure it happens to some of you too. More than likely you have some red or light hair color genes in with you. If you have naturally lighter hair, congratulations. All right. If you are somebody who has a darker skin tone and darker eyes and darker eye color, skin complexion, congratulations, you have a lot of built-in natural sunlight. So if you were to put me at the equator where there's a lot of sunlight, well, then I would have problems. Hang on one second. Is that I would sunburn easily and I probably wouldn't survive very long. I'd end up dying of skin cancer because I don't have natural built-in sunblock, or I'd overheat easily. All right. If you were a furry animal and you lived in the North Pole, you're great. For example, if you have a Siberian Husky, not a great place to have Huskies around here in Nebraska during the summertime. Okay. Heavy, thick fur, not built for Nebraska's hot, humid summers. You can do it, but you got to keep them really cool. Built for that really cold northern parts of America, the United States, northern parts of Canada, Alaska, big, thick, heavy fur coats designed to withstand the cold. And so the other thing is one other great adaptation is camouflage that allows you to blend in with your surroundings. It basically makes you less of a target to be eaten. If you think about us as humans, we don't have to camouflage ourselves because we don't have any other predators after us. Some predators, though, do have some camouflage that allows them to blend in. Okay, if you think about tigers and their striping, it allows them to kind of hide and stalk better because they move in with they blend in better with the tall grass. Zebras have stripes, but not necessarily because of needing to blend in with the grassland. What they found out is the stripes on zebras are important because it kind of blends them all together and there's no real good separation. They don't blur it out, but there's no good separation between each individual zebra. Camouflage is really cool. It's also a way to show better survival. Easiest way to explain it, I'm a white bunny rabbit at the North Pole. I'm a neon yellow bunny rabbit at the North Pole. If I'm white, I blend in with the snow that's there year round. If I'm neon yellow, a polar bear will have me as a weird neon yellow snack. You just don't fit in, okay? It's like I Spy. And so if you look at some of these pictures, I'll show you a few of them as we go along, and then we'll talk about my favorite master of camouflage, okay? So I have the grasshopper here. You can probably find it. Give me a few seconds. All right, it's right here. Then next one, we have a snapping turtle. Again, kind of easy to find, It's right here, right around here. But if you do look at it, it kind of looks like a rock. Okay, a dead leaf butterfly, really awesome. It actually is this basically right in through here. You can see the edges of it, right here. It really blends in as a dead leaf, kind of like the walking stick, okay? Flounders or flatfish, they have eyes on the top of their head. They're really weird, okay? Notice how it blends in here. The weird thing about flounders is when they develop from the little fish form, the little tadpole form, is that they actually have eyes on the side of their head, like normal fish, but then when they start laying sideways on the ground, everything moves and their eyes actually move to the top of their head, the way they are now. It's really weird, okay? Same with the flatfish, okay? Flatfish, great example of that is Mr. Johansson from Finding Nemo in his yard, okay? This owl, again, owls are great. How do their eyes move? Oh, great question. I'll go back to that. The owl's right here. How do their eyes move? Great question. It's a very, very strange process that I don't know that well, I'll be honest. But they have a chunk of genetic coding that actually, I don't know if it's muscles or if it's just written in. As they lay there, it will actually naturally migrate. There's something in the coding of that flatfish that will actually allow it, and it just kind of wiggles and moves as it grows and develops. Does that make sense? I think that's the best way to explain it. You might have to do a little bit more research. Hang on, I can do a little bit of research here while you guys are doing, oh, nope, wrong button. Darn it, wrong button. Let me look here. So those are really, really wild and weird. Flounder, eye, migration. Let me see if I can get a good answer for you. Internet is great. Okay, yeah, I was right. Okay, so I'm just reading it here. I was just double checking it to make sure you're correct, or I was correct. They're born with their eyes normally like fish, but as they grow and develop from the larva stage, the little tiny fish stage, through like their growth and development, kind of like fish puberty, kind of like we have in humans and other species, as they go and they change, and as they grow and develop, it'll slowly migrate. It just moves. It's part of their genetic coding. It's weird. Is that good enough answer? Very, very, very strange thing, but it's something that has grown and developed and changed over time. Those fish that had eyes that could move on the side of their head made it so that they are better able to survive than those who are like this and buried on the ground. Okay, owls, great eyesight, ability to move their head almost 100 or 360 degrees, wild. Kind of a cool one, the pygmy seahorse, blending in with their surroundings. Okay. Kind of right here, kind of really cool. All right. Let me go back. So before I go on, any questions about that? Okay, that was a great question on how do the eyes move in there. Any questions about some camouflage examples? And I'm going to show you the master of camouflage here in a little bit. Give you a little bit of time to type here quick if you have questions. This one's a little bit different today. Not seeing many questions. I'm going to jump here real quick. I'm going to change my share here real quick. We're going to go to my master of this. And I want you to type in, well, actually, hang on. Before I jump to this, I want you to type in your thought. What organism, living thing, do you think, and I know I don't want to play guess what's on Patrick's mind. That's kind of weird. But I want you to write in, what do you think? Mr. Hobble, you can't cheat and write the answer down. That's just not fair, okay? Teachers who know the answer, stop cheating, okay? Don't give away the answers. Plus, they can't see it anyway. All right? Write down what you think. From what you know of all living things, what creature, what organism is the master of camouflage? What do you think? I'm going to write down some ideas. See what you think. Type your ideas. A reptile? Okay. No, it's not a reptile. I'll give you that much. It's not a reptile. Chameleons, octopus, butterfly, ant, moths, a lizard, deer, snakes. Is it a bug? No, it's actually not a bug. It's actually not a bug. Not a worm. It's not an insect. It's not a reptile. So it's not a chameleon. Actually, one person did get it right. Starfish? No, not so much. One person did get it right. All right, who is my person who wrote that down? Is it a mammal? No, it's actually not a mammal. It is not a mammal. It's really weird. All right, hang on a second. I'm going to unmute the person who had it correct. Where are they? Brady, would you like to tell everybody what it actually is?
It's an octopus.
It is an octopus. Okay, you can go ahead and mute yourself. The octopus is the master of camouflage. They are extremely cool. Chameleons, great guess. It's a great guess. They're probably runner-up-ish. Okay, here's why. Okay, I want you to watch this video. I love this video. Octopi are by far the coolest, smartest masters at camouflage. And if you ever watch things on the octopus, they are wild. There was a really cool PBS special I saw a while ago, about 6 months ago, that talked about the octopus. They think they live alone. They actually have found them living together. They've tested their intelligence. It's wild. So I'm going to play this video. I want you to see if you can find it, okay? It'll take a little bit of time. This is impressive. So here we are underwater with these guys. Actually, I think I can play this. Here you go.
You're going to see a nice coral bottom.
Can everybody hear this guy here?
An octopus would stand up very easily there if you couldn't use your camouflage.
Okay, right now, see if you can figure out where the octopus is. Can you find it? Don't say yes or no. Just see if you can find it. Based on this picture, can you find the octopus in this picture? I can find it, but I know where it is. All right. The sand's a great guess, but it's actually incorrect. Here you go. Watch here.
Color and texture. There's some algae in the foreground and an octopus.
And there it was.
Isn't that amazing?
There it goes, and it takes off.
Now, Roger spooked him, so he shook off a cloud of ink.
He inked to try to catch you. Now
watch.
watch.
The octopus says, "Okay, I've been seeing best thing to do is get as big as I can get." that big brown makes his eye spot very big.
See how he's trying to make himself big?
Let's do
Here you go.
average. I thought he was joking when he first showed it. So I thought it was all graphics. So here it is in reverse.
Here's a reverse.
Watch the skin color. Watch the skin texture. Just an amazing animal. Can change color and texture to match the surroundings. Watch him blend right into this algae. 1, 2, 3.
And that, my friends, is the master. The octopus is so crazy. It has that ability to match not only color, but also texture. If you find the video, they actually track and follow that octopus, and it goes and it matches up with another piece of coral. Let me see if I can find it. One of these is really amazing. Hang on one second. I know I'm pulling up. There's one where it actually shows how it swims along and then it kind of makes itself. There it is. Okay. All right, here, hang on a sec. This is, I think, a pretty good one. There's some really cool ones. So here it goes. They're kind of tracking it. This is a different video here real quick. But you'll see it's going to walk around and it's actually going to stop. They're going to kind of follow it. But watch how it goes from its color now. And watch how it's going to hunker itself in. And it changes and blends in. There it is right there. With its surroundings and changes its texture. That, my friends, is why we should be afraid of our octopus overlords. Okay? They're very intelligent. Okay? They're also masters of disguise. Very cool. Go look up octopus camouflage. There are so many cool videos. The one that guy's doing, which is actually, I think, a TED Talk. If you can find that video that keeps going on, like I said, it will actually track it. It goes to another piece of coral and algae, and it just sucks itself in and matches real time. It's amazing. But why do we care about this so much? Because camouflage and blending in deals with how well you survive. If you can't blend in and you are a snack for somebody, you're done for. And so the ability we had to do this is the octopus or fish. No, it's a cephalopod. It's in its own category of something. I got to remember. Don't remember all that. I think it's close to a crustacean. Let me double check. I always get it wrong. Okay, it's in the mollusk family, so it's not in a fish. Yes, animal in the cephalopod family. So it's not in the fish family. Make sense? So this is important because we're able to figure out in the 1800s how well certain things survive based on your adaptations, your camouflage ability to blend in. And what they discovered is they looked at what's called a peppered moth. There's two versions of it. There's the white peppery version, and then there's the pure black version. And so in nature, when you look at this is kind of where survival of the fittest comes in, but that doesn't do anything with how species change over time. Okay, just as an FYI, they're completely separate. When you look at these peppered moths, if you're a starving bird, the easiest one for you to pick off in nature is going to be this black butterfly because it stands out and you'll expend the least amount of energy getting to it. But if you're a peppered moth along these birch trees, you blend in really easy, kind of like walking sticks can. But then eventually the Industrial Revolution comes in where we use a lot of coal and gas and oils producing a lot of pollutants. Well, then all the trees nearby these factories became covered in ash and soot and blackened. Well, now the white peppered moth starts to decrease in population because they're easily standing out against the black buildings and black trees. And now the black population of moths increases. So it's kind of a give and take, if that makes sense. So as the environment changes, the types of species change. If you think about it, dinosaurs for a while were fairly small reptiles. And then they eventually grew much larger and bigger because there wasn't a whole lot of competition with them. They were the top apex predator. And mammals at that time were very, very small. Well, those reptiles fell off. Mammals began to grow bigger and larger and kind of sort of took over. Now you may be wondering, well, how does this go to this butterfly and coloring and playing hide and seek? Nature is nothing more than hide and seek. If you're a better hider, you're great, you won't be eaten. If you're a terrible hide and seeker, if you're a terrible hider, you're a snack for somebody else. So what you're going to do in this activity is you're going to have fun with either people in your family or whoever you want to. If somebody's gone for a while, have fun with it. I put in that folder this sheet of, it has 9 butterflies on it, okay? 9 butterflies. You can do this. You can cut them out however you want. The antennae are very tough. I try to use a bigger pair of scissors like these. It's hard to control it. There's some very fine cuts through here. I'd use some smaller scissors. And then you can make as many as you would like, and you can have fun with it. I just cut one out. And what I will do is I'm going to color it to match the surroundings of somewhere around my house or wherever I want to do this, okay? A couple rules though, if we were doing this in class, you actually can't hide it. There's a couple rules. Rule number 1, you can't hide it underneath something. So I couldn't, or inside of something. So I couldn't hide it inside this door. That's cheating, okay? I couldn't hide it under the table that I'm working at. That's cheating. It has to be kind of in plain sight, not behind something, in plain sight. So if I were to look around the room, I would be able to find it, but it would be very hard to find. You want it to blend in with the surroundings. So let's say, for example, I wanted it to blend it in with the surrounding. Number 1, using the side that has these black lines, probably a terrible idea. What I would want to do is I might want to flip it over to the pure white side. And if I look at this white here, well, guess what? It stands out, doesn't it? Okay, this stands out pretty badly. This white against this duller white. What I would need to do is I would need to figure out what whitish off-white color can I find to match this surface, okay? But also, if I leave this butterfly here, the other thing that's missing, it's going to stand out because it doesn't have the markings where the holes are on this pegboard. So what I could do is I would draw a hole and try to mimic or copy those openings so that when I left it here, it would be very difficult to find it. That would be a great way to start. So I would probably color this a light color. Maybe you want to take some white out and do this. I would use, if you have double stick tape, great, put it on there. Don't put it on your parents' good surfaces like the wood surfaces, and double stick tape, that'll kind of ruin it as long as it's not there for very long, okay? You could use clear tape loops, masking tape loops, whatever you wanted to do. This would be a good idea. This wood grain that's like right here, if I could take this and match this brown, that would be awesome. But what else I could do to make this even better is I would follow these wood grain patterns that are already here and match it so that it blends in really well. One of the cooler things to do when we usually do this with students in classrooms is, and Mr. Havel can back me up, using places on the posters is usually a great place to put it, especially if you do it really well, where you actually follow the lines and you match all the words. They blend in ridiculously well. Right, Mr. Havel? I just happen to see you right there. Yeah. They're the ones that usually are the hardest to find, okay? A couple pieces of information that will help you with this, a couple pieces that will help you. Number 1, the color white is really difficult to match okay? Because this is a bright white piece of paper, you want to find a dull surface. And if you leave it white in this, the black lines stand out. So that's not gonna work very well. The more you can blend it in with a textured surface, the better you're going to be, or with wood grains or patterns. Like up here, if I could match this shade, it'd be excellent. Against this wall, it's not a perfectly white wall. If I were to see this picture up here, it's on white paper, but white on white paper, it kind of stands out. Kind of, you're getting a glare off of it. So that might not be a great idea. The other thing that's tough to do is match the color black. And you may say, Patrick, why is that? The amount of dyes used in the color black is so very different, okay? If you've ever tried to match a black shirt with black pants, it's nearly impossible. Yeah, I saw Riley's there with double thumbs down. It doesn't work out so easy, does it? No, because there's a lot of sheen, the fabric type, even the dye of black is different, okay? So this black dry erase marker is probably gonna have a different texture and dye amount than this black marker. They're all different. So matching blacks usually is a tricky thing to do, okay? Otherwise, make as many butterflies as you want, aim for patterns, hide them in different places, see how good your parents, brothers, sisters, if you have little brothers or sisters, this is great for them, it's a lot of fun. Or if they wanna try to do it, it's a lot of fun. See who's the best butterfly catcher. Make it as fun and enjoyable as you can. See how good you are. Hide 9 of them and remember where they are, and see how many your family can find, or whoever's been gone today. See how many they can find and leave them up until they find them. Never tell them where it is, because it's great. Okay, it's a lot of fun. Sometimes you could figure out how to match black with black. It depends on the surfaces too. Okay, so with that, guys, good luck making the best hiding. Be the best hider. And hopefully your seeker isn't very good and can't find it. And usually when we do this, we give them like a minute to find as many as they can. And it's always interesting. Most of the butterfly collectors can only find about 20 to 25% of all of the butterflies we do. It's a lot harder than you think it is.